Hello, beautiful hearts. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Happy full moon blessings to you. This is the second part of the energy update that I did a couple of days ago. So as promised, here we go. I just want to start. I pulled a few cards to see some of the themes that wanted to be addressed. And the first card that came into um, into my hand was passion. And it's really interesting because one of the things that I wrote down, so this was a confirmation, is passion, movement forward, movement choices before us. This is really important to be mindful and pay attention to those nudges. Pay attention to what is trying to get your attention, because we have a lot of supportive energies right now. As we all probably can feel and know, the energy is very intense, very heightened. As I mentioned in the last video, almost like a waterfall pouring in, and moving through. This is igniting passions, igniting your passions, igniting your goals, your dreams, your visions, right? And I'm also hearing not just your visions, but the collective vision of how we want to move forward with these higher frequency waves into these higher, I'm hearing quantum leaps, higher timelines, higher multidimensional ways of living and being. And I'm hearing right now that there is much communication being brought to us and for us to help us through this expansion. It's really important that I'm hearing the word determination, that we stay focused on this path. And your efforts will be supported. I'm hearing the song, "Look, be a lady tonight. Look, be a lady tonight." So two things with this message. I feel like there is a lot of, I'm hearing count your lucky stars. Okay, so there is a lot of luck in the air. And I'm also hearing it's like a rhythm, right? It's this rhythm, it's this movement, it's this flow. So a reminder to not get caught up in the hows and the whens, but allow yourself to connect to this rhythm. Allow yourself to, I'm doing it again so I can get that, what they were saying, almost like this movement, this rhythm of synchronicities that is guiding you towards your future, the collective destiny. That is because it's not just our vision, remember, or your vision, it's our vision. Yeah. So a lot of luck will be in the air. A lot of, hold on, if you can learn to go with the flow and let go of the hows and the whens and be open to the fluidity of this collective movement happening right now. Now, that being said, okay, because as I always say, there's two sides to the coin here. There is going to be a lot of, and will continue to be a lot of intense energy. There could be some restrictions coming up. And this is also restrictions that you could be feeling in the body. This movement of what is preventing you from moving forward, what thoughts, what beliefs, what environment is preventing you from moving forward, restrictions, but also restrictions, I'm hearing planetary restrictions. yeah, tensions, um, things coming to a head, things coming to a head. It's really interesting when I do that. It's almost like a shape of a heart, right? So these could be based on relationships or the relationship that we have to the idea of how we should live and maneuver in the world. Definitely relations, international relations, I'm hearing. Um, and relations, obviously, more close tuned to whom is in your home or in that circle, in your circle of friends. This is a really good time. Sorry if I keep looking over there. I'm just kind of like tuning in. I'm also hearing too, this is a really good time to go over your finances. Um, and I'm seeing like a crinkling of bills or yeah, I'm just seeing this kind of like folding in on bills. So this could be a time where you're going over your finances, maybe cutting back on finances. This also could be a time where you are finding other ways, other forms of um, creating more movement through your finances, maybe moving things around. I'm seeing like, not just having one set of let's just say currency in one bank or situation, having it in multiple places. I'm seeing like there could be some movement there, redirection around there. Um, Also, too, there could be an increase in food prices. I mean, we've already seen this, but I feel like, wow, yes, I'm definitely, yeah. And a push to find other ways and other means of kind of balancing this. So this is about us supporting that collective vision of how we are choosing to live, right? How we are choosing to support ourselves. So like myself, I have a garden and I seek out ways of, you know, taking in the most nutritious foods that I can for my body. So if you can plant a garden, there's also containers that you can plant upwards if you don't have space. Seek out local farmers markets, things like that, where you know where the food has come from and the whole process behind it. I'm also hearing and seeing that there could be a lot of community gardens coming up. So even if this isn't accessible to you, if you live in an apartment and you can only have a few, seek out if there's I keep hearing community garden, community. This is going to be the waves of the future, working together collectively as a community to pull in all resources, to pull in all of this. So I am definitely feeling and seeing for some of you, if you don't have that, maybe seek out community gardens. This is where you're also going to connect with like-minded individuals and get some inspiration. As I've mentioned before in probably about video 6 months ago, that we are going to start working with the plants and the herbs more and really receive the medicine within that. So don't be surprised if you run into somebody there, whether it's at your local farmers market, community garden, or just more conscious ways of purchasing your groceries. Don't be surprised if you run into somebody that you kind of link with, or you haven't seen in a while. I feel like this coming together, there's a lot of coming together with this. And that kind of goes with the second card that came through is the material and spiritual prosperity. I mentioned on my YouTube video that there is going to be, and there has been, an increase of frequency solar rays coming in. We're going through, again, another recalibration, another upgrade. I was seeing pineal gland. So increased intuition is going to be on the rise. Also dream time, astral time, ways of really communicating to those higher planes, those higher aspects, higher self and multidimensional higher selves, and galactic and angelic and just really connecting this. They're also saying with this, approach things with a grounded sense of knowing. So, as above, so below, like we are connected to this, but we are having a human experience, right? So we need to be able to really ground it, feel it, and ask ourselves, right, is this right for me? How should I move forward? Really taking time to process things, reprocess things. Yeah, and really looking at how can we use this information coming forward to really find ways to create more soulful expressions with oneself and others in the world. And I feel like that is part of that material prosperity and spiritual prosperity, because we are looking at ways, we are connecting to each other, ways of how we are choosing to create this new earth template. Because the old way of prosperity, gaining and stepping over other people in order to get ahead is just not, it's just not there's it's not working anymore, right? People aren't, the energy is too high, and people are not letting the manipulation, the power struggles happen anymore. More and more people are really standing up, speaking their truth. And that's something too that the guys are saying, is that a world focused on truth is a world focused on love. So as more and more people really step into their authenticity and their truth, right? They're not allowing that to happen to themselves and others. And I feel like this is that rise of that material, what we're creating in the material realms, but also we're really growing and thriving as we continue to develop and tune in and hone in to these higher frequencies and our spiritual tools, right? Our spiritual tools. That being said, I always have a couple of things to say with this. There is, again, use discernment. There are a lot of individuals out there that are still seek to self for themselves. And I feel like this is what we're kind of like revealing, right? These truths are going to continue to come out. And how they are seen in the world will be shown. I'm seeing like a spotlight, but use, all these birds are flying up. I wish I could turn this way. I'm going to start calling myself / bird lady. So I swear every time I do a reading or, there's birds on the ledge. It's great. I love it. Oh, and I'm hearing yes. And for us to take flight, this is about freedom and expansion and to be able to move effortlessly without restrictions. So I feel like, going back to what I was saying, sorry. I feel like as we are developing in our spiritual awareness, that what is not of in highest integrity, I want to say, or in highest alignment to the collective, there will be a light shone upon them, right? They will be exposed. So again, I'm seeing international. So this is worldwide. This isn't just, in your circle. You may see this hop online politically. You may see this hop online in spiritual communities. There could be a lot of I don't really want to say attack, but he said, she said, there. What I want to say, what I'm trying to say is, what is not in the highest alignment to the greater whole will be exposed. their truth will be there's no more hiding, there's no more manipulation. It's all coming out. It's all going to be cleaned up, cleared out, cleaned up. This is this process for this new vision and this forward movement towards future. Okay. That other card that I pulled, the last one, was a heart expansion. And as we continue to dive deep and move through this and do our inner work, our outer work, our hearts are only continuing to expand and grow. And again, with this energy, we may have to take time to go in and do some clearing up, cleaning out of the emotional body. If it hasn't already, you may have received kind of uncomfortable sensations from memories, situations of past. This is that time to go over it again and see what you are still harboring and holding onto in the past. And, really be truthful with self. What do you want? What do you want? Okay, I'm going to pull a couple more. So I also want to note that, and I mentioned this on my Instagram, the guys were bringing forth reflexology was being encouraged, lymphatic drainage or lymphatic massage, any sort of thing that you can do to get the fluids, to get the energy moving in the body, releasing any sort of stagnation. They were also saying reflexology. Reflexology would be good. And sometimes what I do is I grab a tennis ball, or you could use a golf ball or anything like that, and I roll out the bottom of my feet and kind of stretch out the fascia on the bottom of the feet. And it helps you feel more grounded because the fascia isn't contracted up, right? So just doing that a few times and then putting your feet on the ground, you can really feel that deeper connection. And you can do this too, whether it's a tennis ball or a roller or anything like that. You can actually do that with different body parts too. This is just kind of like what they were saying, like clearing out and wringing out, releasing any sort of tension in the body. Okay. I'm gonna pull a couple more cards. Oh, yes, thank you. I also wanted to mention the detox bath. So a couple cards popped out. This detox bath that you can do either on a full moon or any time that you want to just kind of clear out your physical body. This detox clears out parasites or helps clear out parasites. I don't want to say you're going to do it and everything's going to be gone, but it's going to help pull out any sort of parasites, fungus infections, some heavy metals. It's going to help kind of with that process of moving out, and nanotechnology. So what you need is baking soda. Try to get something other than Arm & Hammer. Arm & Hammer is filled with heavy metals. This is a thing too, that we really have to think about what we're purchasing and do the research. We are responsible for ourselves, so we have to do the research. So seek out other companies other than that brand, Arm & Hammer. And yeah, so Arm & Hammer, borax, bentonite clay. No, I have some over there, but I picked mine up at just a local natural food store, but you could get it on Amazon. So bentonite clay and epsom salts. So I'll post the full like recipe for it, how much you need below in the comments. But you mix that together and you run the hot water, get it as hot as you can, you can bear, and then mix it up, hop in there and stay in there as long as you can. So that again will help remove parasites, any sort of fungus infection, heavy metals, and nanotechnology. Okay. So we have a couple cards that came out of the deck. I just want to see what is coming forth. This one is shine. Trust. Trust in oneself. You can see it's really interesting. Vishnu is like hovering over the water. And it's like the water, our emotions, moving deeper into that deep trust, that deep knowing, that deep surrender. And also I'm hearing with this, they're wanting me to go back to expansion. Many people want things or try to manifest things when their body is contracted or restricted. We need to create or work with creating expansion for our bodies, expansion through our minds, so that, when we are open and we allow that energy to flow effortlessly, it connects without restriction to go above and beyond any sort of limitations. Okay, so that came forth. Spiritual union. I feel like this is, as I mentioned before, the deepening within your spiritual connection to self, your higher self. Your higher self. I feel like many of you will be really going through in the next year quite a expansion in your spiritual development. And this may be where you are seeking out spiritual teachers and a spiritual path. This also could be the divine union, not even within self, but the divine union in the reflection of others. Yeah, I'm also hearing like a deep awakening with this in sacred unions. And not sacrificing yourself anymore. And those, I can definitely relate those doing things for others to seek approval or acceptance. I feel like, it's all about moving inward, doing that work, right? Healing those wounds, healing those patterns so that you can draw to you, bring towards you that soul union, that soul partnership, not just within a lover, but within a community. So that's coming. That's amazing. Oh my gosh, we got another material harvest card. Yes. I'm looking at this as sharing your wealth, right? And however that shows up to you, whether, as I mentioned before, the community garden or sharing things, working with others, collabing with others. How can we work together? This is what I have to offer, right? How can we work together to build Yeah, a new direction forward, a new way of living forward. You know, and there's fruit there, there's water, there's money, there's flour, working together, and also resourcing different, like, you know, the fact that there is flour, you know, I don't have this, but I have this, I'll give this to you. I don't have this, but I have this, I'll give this to you. Like the bartering system, but it's almost like I'm really seeing like farming and agriculture and things like that. I really feel like there's going to be a lot of upheaval. There's going to be a lot of focus with that, with food. I really, really do. Yeah. Um, and communities coming forth, working together with a different vision and offering what they can. This is what I have. Um, it's really interesting because if you look at that, the back is away from these buildings. They're kind of like government buildings, right? This is what I have to offer. This is what I have to offer you. So I never tell anybody what to do, but I really feel like how can we work together collectively to move forward in a different way of what or how we've been living with the lands. So a deeper respect, a deeper understanding, and not just with food, you know, how can we work together with the animals that are here to help cultivate that process of showing a deeper respect? Yeah. And I'm hearing there's a lot of information coming forth, higher intelligence, higher knowledge, higher knowing of how to do this. I feel like, and I've mentioned this before, but bringing it through again within the next 2 to 3 years, ways of water and land and redirecting things and movement. So yeah, much abundance is coming and working together to create that abundance for the whole. Travel, I just posted this too. Many people will be traveling. Many people will be getting that nudge, if you haven't already, to go to certain places. This is where, you know, there could be some spiritual union there, spiritual remembrance of maybe a time past where you were there, or reconnecting to individuals that are part of your soul family. There could be some connections there. So connections with the land, or connections with individuals that are calling you there. Definitely travel. I do feel though that there's going to be a lot of adventure, a lot of like exciting things coming up. So, you know, maybe create a vision board of, if you haven't, or you've been kind of getting those nudges of, oh my gosh, I want to go there. Maybe create a vision board of where you want to go, right? Maybe it's 3 or 4 places. Okay, having this on your vision board. Um, that might be a thing. And you could go into a travel place or print it off on, you know, your computer and create these visions for yourself of where you want to go. Yeah, and kind of like that journey forward, how you're going to get there. What's the movie that you're creating? Travel. And last card is follow your heart. I think, you know, this is an important thing to remember whenever we feel off balance, too much in our heads, going back to those old patterns. It's really important to ground center. Always remember that being told to me, ground centered focus. I always say that to myself. Ground, center, center in your heart and focus. Ground your feet, centered in your heart, and now focus. What is your vision? Ground, center, focus. Follow your heart and trust. That is the card that just happens to be in my hand. All right, beautiful hearts. I hope that's helped. Thank you so much. If you like this video, please like it. And if you feel like sharing, do so too. Accelerated motion. Sorry. Definitely accelerated motion. We are moving at light speed. From my heart to yours. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking. I love you guys. Bye for now.